Alright guys, we're finished with our introduction. You can turn the page. Now we're on page 60 and 61. Here's a couple maps of the Northeast. Here's our map key up here. It tells us the Northeast is this tan color, the Midwest is pink, and the Southeast is green. Southeast, Midwest. This is what we're looking for, the Northwest region. There's the title of our map and the compass rose. Down here you see that you have the distance here. This far equals 200 miles. This far equals 100 miles. So you can see how far things are apart with those. The water is blue. You have a couple Great Lakes up here. Notice the Northeast borders another country. That's Canada to our north. We also can see that we have the national capital in this region. It's right here by Maryland. Stars equal state capitals. Major cities are circles. You got some mountain peaks, as well as a famous lighthouse in Maine. Over here on this map, you can see the population of the Northeast region. You see this big blow-up map here. This is a little region here. A lot of people live in this small chunk of our country. That's because it was one of the first places settled. New York, one of the largest cities in our whole entire country, you can tell by the big circle. Over 15 million people live there, literally stacked on top of each in giant skyscraper apartment buildings. Some of the other big cities there, we're going to use those two maps to do our assignment today. When you pull out your Monday assignment, Mr. Bauer made his first big major mistake for social studies this week. Sorry. I copied the wrong questions. This should say Northeast question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to have to pay attention to my video because you have the wrong front side. Go ahead and put your name on there. It's Monday, Mr. Bauer. Flip it over. Here you have your map. You use your map side and my book for your computer to help you answer these questions that you don't have. I'll read them to you. Okay? Which 11 states are in the Northeast region? So we got to find 11 states. We're going to use this map on page 60. Let's start at the south and move forward. Now Maryland's kind of funny, shaped funny because it's got this big Chesapeake Bay in here. So let's go ahead and label Maryland. I wrote it fairly small so that I can fit it. Right next to Maryland is Delaware. And try to get the D inside of Delaware and then out into the Atlantic Ocean. Above Delaware, this shape here, is New Jersey. Again, start it inside, and if it goes outside, that's okay. New Jersey. You ever hear the joke about Delaware and New Jersey? It sounds like this. What did Delaware? A New Jersey. Get it? Delaware, like you wear clothing. A New Jersey. Okay, forget if my joke's not funny. But that's how I remember Delaware and New Jersey are right next to each other. Above Maryland is Pennsylvania. Above Pennsylvania is New York, and part of New York includes this island here. Okay? And New York City is right here. A lot of people think New York is just a city. New York is actually this big, huge state here. New York. We're at 5. We got 6 more to go. Above the New York island here is called Connecticut. And I'm going to try to fit that one in there so it doesn't mess up with Rhode Island. This little small state here is Rhode Island. You notice how the book puts a little arrow there and Rhode Island. So I'm going to do the same thing and put it out in the ocean. Here we have Rhode Island. Above Rhode Island is we have Massachusetts. Massachusetts is one of the first states that was settled. Plymouth Rock is there in Massachusetts, famous landing of some of the pilgrims. Now you got these two that kind of go side by side and fit together. This one on the top here is Vermont. And this one down here is New Hampshire. Now, interesting enough, we have a couple of these that have news. New Jersey, because some people who lived in England came over from Jersey. And New York, because some people who lived in New York came over. And New Hampshire, because some people who lived in Hampshire came over. And so they named them after where they came from. And then the last one at the top That one's Maine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have them all. That was question number 1. I'm going to put a little check mark. We're done with that one. Let's go on to number 2. Which city is the nation's capital? All right. Well, we got this key up here that says the nation's capital is a star with a circle. Go ahead and find the star with a circle. Stars, 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 stars. Star with a circle. Washington, D.C. It's right here in this little corner of Maryland. So I'm going to go put a little box there, and then a little arrow, and then I'm going to write down Washington, named after our first president, Washington, D.C. And D.C. actually stands for the District of Columbus. District of Columbus, Washington, D.C. That one was pretty easy. Number 2, checked off. Number 3, in which states are Boston, Philadelphia, and New York located? Now we're going to use this map with the populations because those are 3 of the biggest cities in this region. There's New York. And so now I'm going to go back to the other map and see exactly where there is the dot. And check out where the dot is. Right there. So we're going to put it right between this island and the state. There's New York. I'm going to get a little arrow here. I'm going to put New York City. This is New York City. So if you live in New York City, you're in New York, New York. Yeah, that's where you live. New York, New York. That kind of sounds kind of funny. It'd be like if Wisconsin was named Milwaukee. We lived in Milwaukee, Milwaukee. New York City in New York. The next one is Boston. There's Boston. It's in Massachusetts. Let's look exactly where it goes. Right there on the water, Boston. So I'm going to find that on my map. Right here is Boston. I'll put this out here and put Boston. Okay. And the last one we're looking for, we got Boston done, we got New York City done. Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Oops, I'm going to start over here. Here's Philadelphia in this region right here. And Philadelphia, there it is. Philadelphia on the border of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, technically inside Pennsylvania. Growing up, the Philadelphia 76ers was one of my favorite basketball teams because Charles Barkley played for them. I know you probably don't know who that is. He's a newscaster now, and he has some commercials out there. Maybe you do. All right, Northeast, question 3, done. Question 4, which major mountain range does the Northeast share with the Southeast? In other words, we got this mountain range that goes in this portion and this. There it is, the Appalachian Mountains. We'll talk about this range, this mountain range, in both the Northeast and the South. So let's go ahead and let's start it here. And let's try to write it like they wrote it, nice and big. Appalachian Mountains. Goes all the way up into New York here, the Appalachian Mountains. They have other mountain ranges here. Here's the Green Mountains. This is the Adirondack Mountains. You got the Catskill Mountains here. You got a famous mountain over here. This is the White Mountains and Mount Washington. So a lot of mountains in this region. Number 4, check, check. Number 5, what is the giant fish hook of land in Massachusetts called? We got this fish hook here. Here's Massachusetts, and here's the fish hook. And that's called Cape Cod. Let's go ahead and label that on our map. This is Cape Cod. Now, guys, we finished the first half of our map today. Tomorrow we're going to finish the second half. Enjoy the rest of your day.